Good day and welcome to Dre on the Stoop. This is a place where I share thoughts about faith, my family, art, and nature, and where I seek to give honor to God through everyday experiences. Recently, I attended a motivational camp with 12 other men. The camp was organized by an English speaking congregation. During one of the sermons, we sang the well known hymn, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Because the hymn was being sung in English, I found myself paying close attention to the words rather than simply singing along. And suddenly, something struck me. I realized how incredibly powerful and meaningful the words of this old hymn really are. As a young boy, I learned the Afrikaans version of the hymn. Later, as a young man, I sang it countless times at church services and special occasions. But because it became so familiar, I rarely stopped to think about what the words actually were saying. Perhaps you experienced something similar. Sometimes we become so familiar with certain hymns, Bible passages, that we hear them without truly listening. One line especially stood out to me. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Think about it for a moment. We do not have to carry our burdens alone. Through Jesus Christ, we have direct access to God. Every fear, every worry, every disappointment, every struggle, and every joy can be brought before Him in prayer. Another line that touched me deeply was, oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. How true is that? How often do we try to solve our problems on our own? How often do we carry burdens that God has invited us to place in His hands? I reflected on this hymn, my thoughts turned to Psalm 23. Like many people, I learned this psalm as a child. I memorized it in school, but I did not fully appreciate its depth and beauty. Even later in life, that Psalm 23 came active for me. Today it almost feels like a personal statement of faith. In David writes, the Lord is my shepherd. Those words mean far more to me than they once did. They reminded me that I'm not on my own. They remind me that I'm not meant to determine my own path apart from God. Instead, I'm called to follow Him, trust Him, and depend on Him completely. Just as sheep trust their shepherd, I'm called to trust the Lord, even when life is difficult, even when I do not understand what lies ahead, even when I walk through dark valleys. That's where these words bring such comfort. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Notice that God never promised us that we will avoid difficult valleys. His promise is that He will walk through them with us. And then Psalm 23 ends with one of the most powerful promises in all Scripture. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What incredible hope! We belong to God. We are sustained by His grace. And one day we will live with Him forever. As I reflect on both this hymn and Psalm 23, I was reminded of something important. Sometimes the greatest truths of our faith are in words that we know best. Because they are familiar, we stop listening. Because we heard them so many times, we stop reflecting on their meaning. Perhaps we had to slow down. Perhaps we need to listen more carefully. Perhaps we need to hear these words with fresh ears, because God often uses the truths we have to known for years to speak to us in a new and powerful way. Thank you for spending this time with me on the stoop. May you discover anew what it means to have a friend in Jesus. And may the words of Psalm 23 remind you that the Lord is your shepherd. Until next time, may God richly bless you. If this video meant something to you, give me a thumb up and leave a comment. Bye.